Shoulder pain doesn't have to keep you up at night, nor does it just mean you need surgery. Here are some things to keep in mind if your shoulder's hurting and you're in your 40s or 50s. As our bodies age, one of the most important things to keep in mind with your shoulder is the rotator cuff. After the age of 40, there's a lot of wear and tear that we have on our rotator cuff. And so what happens is that shoulder over a period of time can become painful. Now, it doesn't automatically mean you need surgery. It just means, like, what do we need to do to fix it? I'm going to share with you 5 rehab strategies that I talk to my patients about all the time when it comes to shoulder pain. As we get older, the things that we used to do in our 20s and 30s, it's not that we have to not do them anymore. We should be able to do them. We just have to make different decisions around our health and our well-being once you go into your 40s and 50s, because whatever you decide in your 40s and 50s is how you're going to show up in your 60s, 70s, and 80s. So I personally am looking to avoid surgery and keep all my original body parts. I don't want a total shoulder replacement. I don't want a total knee replacement. So I'm thinking about, what do I need to do in order to keep my shoulders healthy as I age. And by the way, my name is Huang. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist here at Hands-On Therapy Services in Miami, Florida. And if you need our help, I'm going to include all the details of how you can contact us and work with my team here. So here are 5 things to really think about when it comes to shoulder pain. You want to increase your range of motion without pain in all directions, number 1. Number 2 is, one of the things that people do is they roll their shoulders forward all the time when they have pain. Don't do that. That's like one of the worst things to do. I'm going to share with you what to do instead. When it comes to shoulders, it's not a no pain, no gain mentality. I'm going to share with you why that's actually what causes more shoulder problems in the long run and can tear your rotator cuff. Number 4 is, you want to think of the shoulder as a complex and think above and below. And then number 5, just really know when to get professional help. These videos that I do, and maybe videos that you're watching online on YouTube and doing the research, it's just to give you an understanding and an idea what might be going on, and that way you can know where to go to and who to turn to for help. But this is by no means the end all be all. This is what people ask me about all the time. A lot of times people can have shoulder pain and they can't lift up their arm. So then all they do is go to therapy maybe, and you're like on an arm bike, you're doing pulleys, you're doing arm circles. It's not that those exercises are incorrect. It's just not necessarily the thing that's going to help you, because in order for your shoulder to be pain-free, it needs to be in all the motions as compared to your other side that isn't hurting. Now, what happens if they're both crap? If they're both crap, it's probably from your neck. So you gotta fix them both. When you're increasing your range of motion, you're looking for a certain evenness. As you can see, my shoulders aren't that even, but that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the arm to be next to our ear, our elbows to be straight. That's just one direction of movement. We wanna make sure that our shoulders go all the way back. This is called shoulder extension. I think some people talk about like being able to lift it up on the side, and that's great and everything. I never focus on that, because if you have external rotation and you have even internal rotation, you'll be able to go out to the side. So you want to look at increasing all of your motion, but without pain in all directions. For some people, they look like they have a great deal of motion, but they might not have enough here because their shoulder blade is moving. Number 2 is, I see a lot of people roll their shoulder. I kid you not, every single patient I have, when they come in with shoulder pain, they want to do this because they want to, like, Huang, do you hear the clicking? Do you hear it? That's when it hurts. So what happens is it becomes this tick that you constantly roll in to see, like, is it still there? Is it still there? But the problem is, every time you do that, you're just rubbing and chafing that tendon further. So instead of rolling it forward, why not just roll it back? And that's just gonna help you really move your shoulder blade, and it stretches the muscles in the front. These are your pec muscles. Stretches the muscles in the front, and it shortens the muscles in the back. But The great thing is it helps to move your shoulder blade, which is really important. Number 3, when it comes to shoulder problems or trying to rehab your shoulder, it is not the no pain, no gain mentality. People tell me that all the time. Maybe I should just make it hurt so it can lift better. No. If you continue with a no pain, no gain, what happens is most of the time your shoulder blade and your humerus bone, they're not moving well together. And so what happens if you push it into pain, you are getting those two bones to hit together even more. That is called a shoulder impingement, because our rotator cuff tendon comes from the back and it comes underneath the bone and attaches right here into the ball. Actually, there's 4 of them. 1 is on top, 2 is on the bottom, and then 1 is on the inside in your armpit. And it all converges and attaches right here. So what happens is when people push and push into it, the shoulder blade bone, your acromion, hits into your humeral head, and it causes a wear and tear further into that rotator cuff, causing it to tear over a period of time. So that no pain, no gain causes impingement. It can cause that rubbing, which causes what? Tendonitis. And you can have tendonitis of your rotator cuff. You can have tendonitis of your biceps tendon because you're constantly rolling it. You can have a bursitis because the two bones keep hitting into that fat pad, and you have an itis, which is an inflammation. So you want to do no pain, no gain. Do no pain, no gain as it pertains to going to the gym, as it pertains to doing hard things to be healthier, be more fit. But if you have an actual problem, no pain, no gain actually makes it worse for you. Number 4, this is a strategy close to my heart because I see a lot of people getting the kind of therapy where it's not a complete look at you as a whole person. So when you go anywhere to get therapy, you want to make sure somebody is looking at you above and below. And this is the hard part of you being able to do it on your own, which is number 5, is just know when to get professional help and not put it off. I get people who come in fast and early. It's so easy to knock it out. I have somebody recently now coming into me and her shoulder was hurting. What brought her in wasn't even her shoulder. Her hand was hurting, her thumb was hurting, her elbow was hurting, her shoulder was hurting. So finally she was like, oh my God, I woke up, I couldn't move my arm, and I have this big old knot here in my upper back. But if you tried a couple of things on your own, watch a couple of videos, and they help, but they didn't really fully help, just know that you can actually get professional help and fix it really quickly. I had somebody who waited years with that problem, knowing he had a problem, but he could always put it off, and because the pain would go away and it would come back and it would go away. And then finally, he's 60, and finally his shoulder started to hurt really, really bad. And it turns out he had, over that period of time, torn his rotator cuff. Not fully, but he did tear it. Now here's the thing, going back to number 4, treat above and below. So what I mean is above and below is your neck. Your neck muscles go into your shoulder, comes and sits right down here by your collarbone. But you have a lot of shoulder muscles that also go into the neck that could cause a lot of tension and a lot of problems. So I always look at the neck, I look at the shoulder blade. So for example, a lot of shoulder blades tend to be what I call tilted forward. So if you feel like your shoulder blade's not sitting in the right place, like one is sticking out over the other, your shoulder blade might not be sitting in the right place. And so when it's not sitting in the right place, this bone here is curved forward and it's hitting into this bone. So a lot of times people are like, well, if I just stand up straight and I just work on my posture, it'll fix it. No, it's a little bit more complicated than that, because your shoulder blade has muscles that are pulling on it every which way. So make sure that whoever you're going to for professional help, you consider what's going on with your neck. Where's your shoulder blade sitting in comparison to how this humerus bone is working? And the other thing to consider is your spine. Your shoulders sit on top of your upper back here, and a lot of the big muscles in the back that help you to bring your arms all the way up and pull that shoulder blade back, all those muscles connect down here into your lower back. And then the muscles here all connects into your ribs and down into your core area. So anytime I'm working with a shoulder and I'm looking at somebody, I like to look at them as a complete person, because we're not just using our shoulders, we are reaching, we're moving our bodies. And one of my favorite things to do in order to make sure that you're moving your shoulders, I do a lot of thoracic rotation. So you have to sit down for this, and then you just twist to one side, come back to the middle, twist to the other side, come back to the middle. If you are stiff and you're not able to move your thoracic spine, that can be an indicator of why your shoulder hurts, and it's so easy to fix so that you don't end up with a rotator cuff tear. I like to move my spine into, and there's a lot of different ways, but the spine all sit on top of each other. You have your lumbar spine, your thoracic spine, and then your neck, and they sit stacked on top of each other. So when you move one section, you can move the other section. And I find that a lot of people who have lingering shoulder problems that they can't get rid of have upper back or a neck component that someone has just missed. So definitely go get some professional help. It's one of my questions I always ask: what's going on with your back? Do you have any neck issues? What's been going on with your shoulder? Because if you're in your 40s, 50s, and even your 60s, there's so much that you can do to get rid of shoulder pain that doesn't require injections and surgeries. Because you can get an injection, but if your shoulder blade is tipped, right, you're gonna have less pain, but you're still gonna have a tipped shoulder blade. You're still gonna have your muscles out of balance, and you're still gonna feel tight somewhere that's still nagging you. That's an indicator that you might have some muscle imbalance. It is so easy, as long as you're working with the right professional that's gonna look at you fully in order to be able to get rid of shoulder pain, be able to sleep, drive, work out, and not worry about risking a rotator cuff surgery just because you went to sleep and you woke up in the morning. Tendons and muscles are very sturdy. They're meant to work our lifespan, but we have to take care of it along the way. So when you're in your 40s and 50s, like I am, you got to make some decisions that are a little different to make sure you take care of your body so you can avoid further injuries. If you have any questions, definitely leave me a comment below. Don't give out personalized advice because there's a lot of stuff that could be happening, but one of the things I do try to do is make some more educational videos to help you make some decisions around what you can do to avoid injections and surgeries. If you need me, all my links are below. Like, subscribe, do all the things. All right, thanks for watching.